Welcome to the 163rd episode of the So Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we will be talking about it. Today, we are recording on February 2nd, 2020, and it's my birthday! Happy birthday, me! Hey! My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com. I am the birthday boy, and I am 50% of this here show. With me is co-host and the guy who is not having a birthday today, Carlos Rodella.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. I hit the big 4-4 today. Whoa. 6 more years and I'll be 50, which sounds really weird. I still think I look pretty good though.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't look a day over 30-ish.
Yeah, I think I feel pretty good. Look pretty good.
Yeah.
It's all right. I don't feel too old, and they always say age is just a number. It's like a mental thing, and mentally I'm still feeling pretty good, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I feel like I get stuck like age-wise in my 30s as well, and that's just how I feel. I feel like 30-something, so that's it.
Yeah. I think there does come a certain point when people mentally like mature, and they kind of stay there, and even though your body might get older and decrepit and fall apart, like your brain is kind of like in that little like adult zone, and maybe it doesn't progress past, I don't know, 35, 40, wherever it is you hit your peak, I guess. It's one theory I've heard anyway.
Well, sometimes people do that, like, and they get much older quicker. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
very true.
Yeah, I'm definitely old now. And they're like, whoa, I guess you look old. So.
Yeah, you start giving up the ghost and your body just follows suit. So you got to
giving up the ghost is so funny of a sentence. It's a true thing. People say it, but it just seems creepy.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, man. It's like you just roll over and you're done with life, and then life's like, okay, well, I guess we're done with you then. So you gotta retain that lust for life. Keep that energy going.
Yes.
All right, enough philosophy, enough pontificating here. Let's jump into this week's games. But right before we do that, just a quick reminder: if you want to send us your thoughts, comments, feedback, requests, anything at all, feel free to contact. God damn
that's the third or fourth time you've done that.
I know. I can't say that. I got to rewrite that sentence because I always mess that sentence up. I apologize, folks. Anyway, if you want to contact us, sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com, and I guarantee we will read every single message you get. Because sometimes people are like, those guys are busy. They're like rock stars. They don't have time to read their fan mail and stuff. And I guarantee you, we have time to read every email, every message. We read it all. We love your feedback. We love your contact. So please reach out. So I don't have any housekeeping. Carlos, you good on housekeeping?
A teeny piece of housekeeping. It's an update on a game that I mentioned on one of my indie or cheap or free PC games.
Okay.
It was this game called Legend of Keepers, where you basically made a dungeon and you played from this point of view of the monsters. And the monsters also were kind of like workers at a corporation. Let that sink in for a minute if you hadn't heard that episode.
Political commentary there, I think.
Yes. Well, anyways, they did an update, which is funny, but also depressing. It's called, they added the motivation gauge for their workers / monsters. So basically, if you work them too hard, they could go into depression.
Oh, God. Like, that's too real, dude.
It's really too real, yeah. But also, I love it.
I mean, is you still playing it?
Yeah, Legend of the Keepers. I can't stop playing that thing. It's so fun.
And that's on PC only, correct?
PC, yeah. I think I got it in Game Jolt, is where I mentioned I got it from.
I believe so.
So anyway, just check that out. A little fun update called the Motivation Gauge.
If you want to see your bestial workers get depressed because you're working them too hard,
Yep.
don't have enough of that in your real life, you can get some when your game time. There you go. Legend of the Keepers. All right, cool. I don't have anything, so let's roll on with this week's selection of games. We've got quite a bit to talk about, as we usually do. Carlos, we're going to start with you. That is the norm with your random, cheap, and or free indie game, probably on PC. What do you got on tap this week, buddy?
Okay, this is going to blow your brain away in a bad way.
Oh, in a bad way? Ooh, that sounds terrible.
Or maybe, I don't know. It's going to do something. So, buckle up.
I'm buckled.
I'm going to say a bunch of words now, and they probably aren't going to make much sense. But this is what the game is. So, I found Deity Driving. Deity, like a god.
Like a god? Like D-E-I-T-Y?
D-I-E-T-Y, right? Or is it
Okay,
D-E-I-T?
something like that. Okay, so Deity Driving? What's it about?
Yeah.
Please don't tell me it's a go-kart racer.
No, but you are a car.
Okay.
So you're a car, you drive around, you get coins. You can't say a particular type of game. It's just an experience, really. When you use WASD to move the car around, it goes like towards the screen, away from the screen, left and right. One of those games.
Is this like a first person, top down? What are we talking? Behind the car?
You see a car?
There's a car on the screen.
There's a
okay.
car on the screen. You move it around with WSD. It goes like up, down, left, and right. It's not top down. It's kind of like looking at the car.
Okay.
Anyways, it doesn't really matter because you're basically just driving by in a little bit of 3D space these objects and engaging with them. There was a game that I reviewed once for the same section that was like this, where you kind of just did a bunch of experiences, remember? Where I found like a weird
every
dog.
game you bring is an experience, dude. I mean, I can't beam it that specific.
Okay, anyways, you're a car, you get coins, you have an IQ level for some reason, you drive by toy hotels. I found a raspberry, I found a guy on a bike who got mad at me. I drove away, and then all of a sudden it's changed into like driving away from the screen. And I found like darkness, and then it turned into a top-down view game. And then there was someone talked about his son being obsessed with demons. And near the end, I had to find these socks to help the demons. And then there was heaven, but also more raspberries. It doesn't make any sense.
Nothing you said. You were correct, because literally nothing you said made sense. I have no idea what we're even talking about right now.
But at the end of it, it said ending 3 out of 3. So there was multiple endings for whatever I experienced, and I can't explain it. But the reason I bring it up as my game this week is because I do like more of these things where I don't understand what's happening. It feels very random, but at the end of it, it kind of wraps up a little bit. So again, I don't know what this game is, but I was definitely infatuated with it for a while.
I'm assuming you finished it since you got ending 3 out of 3?
I got at one of the endings.
I mean, how long did you put into? Like an hour? Like, what are we talking here? Because this sounds like a random,
This is
weird,
like
trippy sort of a thing.
15 minutes.
Oh, shit. Okay, that's
Yeah.
really super fast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably, if you knew what to do differently, you could do like all 3 endings in like less than an hour and just see the whole thing from
Oh, yeah. I guess, I like the idea of really, really simple games, really short, simple games being art experiences, right? It's like a painting or it's like a passage of a book or something. It's just like, yeah, I didn't get all of what it was. Maybe if I play again, I'll understand what the demons are about. I'll understand why I have an IQ level. I don't know anything the first time through, but maybe it'll like make a little more sense as I go through it. And even if it doesn't, it's just like, do you like abstract art? Yes or no. And if you do, games can be a way to deliver that. And so I enjoyed my weird experience with Deity Driving.
Kind of reminds me of a game that we talked about last week. I talked about Draw Chili, how it literally was like a bunch of weird random nonsense thrown into a game, but it all kind of came together and worked, and I ended up really liking it a lot. Kind of sounds like another kind of weird, bizarre, free thought association, strange indie going on here. So I guess we've got a repeat theme going. I guess we like these games.
Yeah, I think so. I just want more of experimental stuff. So if it's trying something new, this game I didn't know what it was, and I finished it and I still didn't know what it was, and that intrigues me. So I'm not saying this is a fun game. It was...
The word fun never came up in this conversation.
Yeah. I just had an interesting time with it, and at times there were some jokes in there. Like you could tell they were trying to be comedic. But yeah, I was confused the whole time and enjoyed being confused. So there you go. There's my confusing Deity Drive indie game.
Okay, so that's a thing that just happened that we talked about.
And it's cut from the podcast.
Was it free? Was it $1? Like, what was it?
Oh no, it was definitely free.
All right,
Yeah.
And it was Deity Driving, is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right. I'm going to write this down for the notes here. Okay, let's move on. I have a quick game to talk about on the Switch, and it's... man, we talk about the Switch. You've got a Switch now that you're back in the Switch side of things. We're going to be talking about a lot of indie games, a lot of small games, I'm sure. This is right up in that alley, man. This is exactly like what I got the Switch for. It's called Coffee Talk. It's put out, I think it's just put up by like one guy or maybe like a couple guys or something. I saw the guy tweeting and he's like, oh, I made this and I put it out on my birthday and please buy it if you want to wish me a happy birthday or something. So I did buy it. And so happy birthday, developer of Coffee Talk. It's a visual novel, but it is a visual novel on the Switch in the most extreme sense of visual novel. And what I mean by that is there is basically no interaction with the game. You start as a barista in a coffee shop that is open at nighttime, and you have a bunch of regulars that come into your shop, and they just sit down and talk to you. And the art is really nice. It's like pixel-based kind of art. They're just people sitting at a bar. You just look at them in the face and talk to them. It's set in Seattle, which is kind of neat, but it could really be anywhere. Like, there's nothing about it that really says Seattle except for a picture of the Space Needle in the background on the title screen. Other than that, it could be anywhere, USA, or anywhere in the world, honestly. And they mix it up. It's like humans. There's like elves and vampires and orcs and whatever fantasy sort of a thing. But it doesn't really... I mean, they could just be people. Like, their races don't really matter other than the sense that they could be any race. Like, at one point, you're talking to people who are at your bar, and they're a couple, and they're like, oh, our parents don't want us to get together because I'm an elf and you're a succubus. And that sucks because of racism. And so you talk about it, but I mean, it could easily be a black person, a white person, or like any two different races. It would still make sense. It's very approachable if you just look 1 inch past the surface of the game. It's not very hidden. It's not, it's not very oblique. The art is really cute. I think the art's well done. I think the writing is actually quite good, honestly. The dialogue is really natural feeling and it flows well. It's easy to understand where these people are coming from. They each have their own personalities and quirks. So that part is really well done too. I think it's really cool. It's a good fit for the Switch. It's very comfortable on that screen. But the only weird thing is getting back to the point about it being a very extreme visual novel, is that there's no, as far as I can tell, there are no choices in the dialogue at all. So you're just watching this pre-scripted conversation play out. And every once in a while, like every 10 minutes or something, somebody will like, oh, I want a drink. And you're like, okay, I'm the barista. I'm going to make you a drink. What do you want? And they're like, oh, give me something warm with ginger. And you've got like, I don't know, like 10 ingredients. And you're just like, milk, ginger, coffee. And then you like mix it up. And like, it's like pushing 3 buttons. Like it's nothing. Like it's really nothing. And if you fuck up the drink, they're just like, this is not a good drink. Anyway, and they just keep talking. So like it doesn't stop the story. Like nothing bad happens. I kind of feel like they just threw it in there just because. But really what I do is I turn the text on to full speed. I turn the text on to auto scrolling. And then I just sit and watch it like I'm watching an episode of a TV show. Like I just sit there. I just watch it. That's all I do. Like I'm just watching it. But it's good enough to where I'm actually interested in it. And I want to see how it turns out. And I like these characters. And so I'm fine watching. Each episode is like maybe 15 minutes long. So you're just like watching little 15-minute episodes of a show, and it's not really a game, so it feels kind of weird.
How many episodes?
I mean, I don't know. They just keep coming. I think I'm probably on 5 or 6, and according to what the game tells me, it seems like I'm only like a third of the way through it. So I don't know how long it's going to be, and I don't know if I'm going to end up getting all the way through it, because, I mean, it's good so far, but it is kind of weird to play a game where all I'm doing is sitting and watching it like a TV show. But I do watch TV. So I kind of get in that space in my head and I just watch it. So it's weird to recommend. It's a weird thing. And like most visual novels have multiple people to date or like multiple dialogue choices or different endings. Like I don't think any of that's here. I think it's just, this is like a season of a TV show and once in a while you make a drink and it doesn't matter if the drink is good.
Yeah, and it's not like Tapper or something where like they throw you down the bar if you like make a bad drink.
Nothing at all. You're like pushing 3 buttons and you move on.
Yeah, and also it's weird because I've seen the art style of it, and it feels like one where you'd make choices.
Yeah, you would think it would be like a dating. It looks like a dating sim. Yeah. Or it looks like Valhalla. This is very reminiscent of if anybody played Valhalla, which was like a bartender game that had a lot of like visual novel elements. There's a lot of games that are like this, but this is the one that has the least amount of interaction. Like it could just be a TV show that somebody made in a game engine. So,
but you're sticking with it. You're gonna.
I dig it. Yeah, I'm watching like 2-3 episodes a night, and I think it's like pretty cool. Like I'm kind of into it, and then I go to bed, and it's fine. So I'm into it, but it's weird. But I like it so far.
All right. Well, I might check it out because I got the Switch, and if I want to watch extra episodes of something else in video game form, I'll check it out. Yeah,
it's not bad. The writing's pretty good. So there you go, Coffee Talk. I'll report back. I feel like I'm going to try to finish it, but we'll see how it goes. Let's stick with the Switch for now. A very, very high-profile indie game just came out, and if I hadn't have been in the middle of Coffee Talk, I would have bought it immediately, but I wanted to finish Coffee Talk first. You jumped right into it. It's Kentucky Route Zero. From developer, I believe they're called Cardboard Computer, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
This game has been in the works for like 5 years or something like that?
Yeah, I think 2013 is when they first showed it off.
Releasing them episode by episode and like a year or two between episodes. and the 5th and final episode just came out, and now they put out a complete version on Switch. I'm super psyched for this. I've heard nothing but great things about it. Really want to get into it, but I got to finish Coffee Talk first. But you're in the middle of Kentucky Route Zero now, so no spoilers or anything, because I want to get into this myself. But tell us about Kentucky Route Zero.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we're talking about this before some of the other games, because the rest of the games on my list, spoiler, I might be inhabiting my inner Brad.
Oh, okay. We've all got a little Brad inside of us.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of it. Yeah, you have most of it.
I have most of the Brad, but you guys have a little bit too.
I will have a little Brad later on. So this one I won't have Brad for, because I've definitely played it before. It's been out for, quite a while, as in it would come out in episodes. Hey, speaking of episodes.
There we go.
So they treat their chapters of their game like little episodes, and it started a while ago, and they just would slowly release a new episode, but it would take between a few years.
Yeah, it's a really long time. Really long time between episodes.
So it's easy to drop off, right? Because you finish the first one, and then you're like, what do I do? And
you wait like 19 months before the next episode.
Yeah, and they're not super long either. That's the thing. If you kind of like go right through it and don't like hang about and just look at the scenery, which I'll tell you about the scenery in a second, they're pretty quick. So yeah, I played most of the beginning of the first chapter long time ago, and thought it was interesting. And definitely a little weird, which I like. But then I dropped off, and again, no episodes are out. So now this is I'm actually playing the PS4 version.
Oh, okay, PS4. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you had the Switch version.
No, it's okay.
My mistake.
I was between getting that one and the one on the Switch, but I remember the last game I played on the Switch, the text was so damn small that it kind of freaked me out, and there's a lot of text in this game. So I would like to hear what your thoughts are on. But for the PS4 one, they called it the TV edition. Is that also the one that they call for the Switch?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure.
It just means it's all of them, right? So all the episodes are there.
Yeah, complete package.
Complete package. I started it again. I remembered the beginning. This game is disguised kind of as a point-and-click adventure. Very, very simple 2D art, but also very artistic. It's got its own style, which is very Below or something, or... just simple graphics. Wasn't Below a game? Remember? Below is that
dungeon crawler that was on the Xbox that was like really like basic polygon shapes and a lot of shading. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but I guess there's like a palette of Below in this game, like grays and muted colors. There's nothing really bright. It's all kind of muted dark grays and blues and stuff. So I feel like that was something similar.
I've only seen a couple screenshots, and it seems like they're pretty low poly models. Like they're kind of like blocky and stuff, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Oh, is it Sword and Sorcery? Was that one of them?
I mean, anyways, that was pretty abstract pixel based, but I think it's like very artistically stylized, right? It's not a photorealistic thing. It's just very artistic. Yeah,
it's its own vision of like what this world is like, and it is done very well. I mean, you just buy into the kind of vision they've built. So you walk around, you can, just like any point-and-click adventure, you can talk to things or look at things and get the, you can examine things and see what the description is of them. And essentially you're driving a truck, you're a truck driver, and you have a dog who's an old dog, and you're just driving across this like lonely Route 66 or somewhere out there in the middle of the heartlands, and it's nighttime most of the time, or evening. And you are just supposed to do a delivery to this one place, and you can't seem to find the place, and you talk to a guy at the gas station. And that begins a very long tale of not only discovering what this land is about, but also kind of discovering this supernatural, which isn't really a spoiler, but just weird shit that is also afoot. And people have mentioned Twin Peaks in the same breath as this game. I can understand that. If you think of the Black Lodge, if you know Twin Peaks, I think there's ideas of that. There's like something going on in this place that seems weird.
I'm very excited for this. I've really been looking forward to this for a while because a lot of my friends who I respect their opinions have really been saying a lot of good things about this. But when it first came out, they were like, oh, this is just chapter 1. And I'm like, I'm not the guy who wants to do early access. I'm not the guy that wants to do episode by episode. I'm usually like to wait till the whole thing is out and then I just play the whole thing at once. I like to binge my games like that. So I haven't even touched it at all, and I have been like at the periphery waiting for it, and it has been a really long time. I kind of forgot it even existed, but now that it's out, I'm really psyched. I mean, as soon as I finish Coffee Talk, I'm either going to finish Coffee Talk or I will bail on Coffee Talk, but either way, Kentucky Route Zero is the very next thing I'm playing, so I'm very, very excited about this. All right. Well, anyway, that's Kentucky Route Zero. We will talk about this again, I'm sure. Let me jump over to my side of things for a little bit. I got a couple real quickies, and we're going to stick with the Switch again because, man, I love me some Switch. I love the Switch so much. In fact, last night I was on Twitter and I wanted to say I love the Switch, and I was looking for a GIF that really encapsulated how much I loved it, and I couldn't find a GIF that really expressed it. So that's how much I love the Switch, you guys. I love the Switch. Okay, so I talked about Sea Salt a while ago. Do you remember me talking about Sea Salt?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sea Salt is back. Just a shout out that it's been patched. I think I might have mentioned it. Maybe I didn't, but I played it a while ago. It would have been on my top 10 last year. I love this game. It's really great, actually. Very, very good. It's like Evil Pikmin with Cthulhu. Fully patched. I'm playing that right now, and I want to just give another shout out to that. So if you want to check that out for something that is Lovecraftian, yet also kind of Pikmin-like, but also kind of strategic, it's working fine. I had to start a new campaign, which is kind of a bummer. But it saved all of the things, almost all the things I unlocked. So it was kind of a weird, it didn't quite leave me, it let me pick up where I left off, but it wasn't too bad. And I just started a new campaign anyway, because it had been months since I played it. So whatever, it's fine. If you start it now, don't even worry about it. It's really good and it's out there. So that's a thing that exists. The next one, kind of circling back to what you talked about last week on the show, Warlocks 2, Godslayers. You talked about this last episode, correct?
Yeah, and I saw something in your article recently that leads me to believe I know what this is going to be.
Yeah. You sold me on it, and to be fair, I had my eye on it before we even talked about it. It was one of those, oh, maybe this is going to be a good thing, but I'm going to wait for a sale. You sold me on it pretty hard on the show, and I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty good. I want to get into that. Picked it up and started playing it, and it does start off really well. I mean, other than the weirdness of a developer asking a player to make choices about a game that they don't know anything about and giving them no information whatsoever is a really poor showing. It's a bad way to start. So, like you said on the last episode, there's like 5 characters to pick from. You don't know anything about them other than their name and what they look like. You don't know their class. You don't know their strengths, their weaknesses. You don't know what they do. So I tried a couple of them, but it's kind of a hassle because you have to like restart the campaign every time you want to try a new character. So I tried a couple. I picked one and ran with it. Started out okay. But as I went on, like I just kind of got tired of it like pretty quickly. Like the 2D platforming action was all right, but I felt like the balance wasn't quite there because I would get into these fights where I was just getting swarmed, and maybe I had the wrong character for that, or I don't know. But just based on what I had, I just like kept getting swarmed. But then I would grind a little bit, come back, get past the part that had me stuck, and keep going. And it just didn't really seem to. It didn't really seem to catch me because it became evident pretty early on that they want you to grind and just get through all these levels and stuff. And it's like the grinding seemed to get kind of fierce too soon for me. And I also wanted to try some of the other characters, but you can't switch between characters, which is bizarre. It's so strange that you can't.
Also, I'm wondering if you just have the wrong character because the character that I get, and like you said, it was dumb that you couldn't tell what they were. Even like down to the fact that, is this a melee fighter? I have no idea.
No idea.
But the one I picked was this woman who has ranged weapons, and I never had to grind the whole time, and I'm on like the 3rd world or something. And so I wonder if it's just that, because if you got overwhelmed, like my character was very nimble and agile. So she was just jumping everywhere that I was in trouble at, and then I would just like shoot from afar and never felt like totally screwed. So it really could just be that, which is also, back to your point, not good for the first player. He just jumps in and like has a different game experience than I did.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible. It's very possible. I just felt like I got into a few sections where there were like infinite enemies coming at me, which seemed really weird. Like I clearly remember at least 2 or 3 parts where I would be like up on a ledge and I was like in a relatively safe zone and I would be hitting the enemies that were coming towards me. Like 10, 12, 15 minutes of enemies, dude. And it was like a joke. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Wait, what kind of difficulty do you put it on?
Just whatever the standard was, whatever the normal.
Sounds like we played 2 different games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I killed like so many characters. I'm like, how is there this many enemies? This has got to be like an infinite enemy spawning thing. And it was too much for me to get through it because I couldn't overwhelm that number of enemies, but they just kept coming. I couldn't kite them out and kill them. And I'm like, okay, this sucks. And then like I left, came back, and then it didn't happen again. So I'm like, well, is that a bug? Because there was a very definite number of enemies the second time, but not the first time. So that really kind of put me off and made me feel weird. And as I got through, I think I got to the 3rd or maybe even the 4th world, and I'm like, okay, this is fine. I get what they're doing. but it didn't really grab me. So I did. You sold me on it real hard, and I think it's cool for the right kind of people, but maybe not my kind of game.
Okay, but yeah, I definitely think that other people might want to at least give it a try, just because. I'm still playing it. Like every night, I'll go into do another level. Especially if you're a Metroidvania type person, I feel like that's what that game is. And yeah, it's not my favorite thing in the world. So I'm saying it's not like a 8 or 9, but it's definitely something, especially on the Switch, that is like sometimes I want that feeling.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it wouldn't have mattered, but I feel like I got to a point where the unlocks started coming like really too slow, and I wanted to like get more abilities for my character or like to tweak them a little bit more, and it just felt like I was like grinding. I'm like, okay, it's too long between bursts of like the endorphins when you get like a power up or something. Like it was too much. So maybe it was pacing, maybe I got the wrong character, maybe it was a glitch. I mean, who knows? But anyway,
all right,
bounced off of that. And Peace Death, have I talked about this already?
I don't think so, because when I saw it in the notes, I didn't remember it.
Okay, this is the first game on the Switch from Azumatica, who are the developers of Draw Chili, which we talked about earlier, and we talked about it on the last episode. This is set in the same universe as Draw Chili, but it's a totally different game, 100% different kind of game, different structure, different gameplay. It just shares like certain people, same world, dealing with like the afterlife and stuff. So a lot of the same themes, clearly the same people showing up again, but a totally different game. Basically like it's Papers, Please in Hell, where you play a Grim Reaper who is a trainee Reaper, and he has to sit at a desk, and there's just like all these desks, and there's like a million desks, and every Reaper sits at a desk, and they're processing all the souls that are coming in to the afterlife. And so it's your job to decide, does this person go to heaven, do they go to hell, or do they go to purgatory, right? And so there's all these sorts of rules, and it's a visual game. So it's like if a person comes in and they're holding a sword, okay, well, you're a violent person, you go to hell. If somebody comes in and they're holding the Bible, oh, okay, you're a holy person, you can go to heaven. And it starts out like super simple, like, oh, boom, 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 categorizing them super easy, no problem at all. But then it gets really complicated, because then it's like sometimes people will have horns, but they're wearing a hat. And so you can't see that if they have horns, they got to go to hell. But if they don't have horns, they go to heaven. And so if a person's wearing a hat, you got to be like, oh, wait, I got to check under their hat first. Or like sometimes they'll have like a blood stain that indicates they've done some violence in their life. You're like, oh, okay, blood stain. If it washes off, it means that they are sorry and they can go to purgatory but not heaven. If it doesn't wash off, then you send them to hell. And so like there's all these like rules that pop up about if this, then, if this, that, do this thing. And you got to like keep it fresh in your mind about which rule am I remembering, which one overrides which one goes to heaven. But if this thing is there, then they go to hell, and which way it goes. And after a while, it gets kind of complicated. And you got to go pretty quickly. So you're trying to keep all this criteria in mind. It's pretty fun. I can only play like maybe like 2 or 3 levels at a time, because it kind of gets repetitive after a while. But I do think it's pretty fun, and I'm doing like 1 or 2 levels a night and getting through it. So I do like it, and I think I probably like it more because I've already played Draw Chili, and so I know the kind of sense of humor those developers have, and I kind of feel like maybe it's going somewhere that I want to get to. I don't know that I would have felt that same way if I hadn't played the other one first, but I did, so here we are. But I like it. It's really simple, really straightforward. It's good for like 10, 15 minutes at a time, and then you bounce, come back to it later. So I like it so far. It's pretty cool. Those are my 3 games on the Switch to talk about. Now, we have a very recent puzzle game called Seventh Sector. You played this, Carlos, and I played this, correct?
Yes, and we got a code. I got a code for PS4.
We both got a code for PS4
Yes.
to talk about this game on the show. This was, I want to say, it's developed by somebody in Eastern Europe, I believe. And I think it was like a one-man show. Pretty sure, either 1 or 2-man show. Kind of hard to describe, but basically you play a living spark of electricity, and you're kind of going through wires and conduits and going through this world of puzzles. I've talked a lot, Carlos. Why don't you kind of pick it up there? Tell us what you think about it. I mean, give us your thoughts. What do you like? What do you don't like? How far did you get?
Yeah, I don't have much to say. This is beginning the phase of the inner Brad.
Okay, or the outer Brad.
Or the inner and outer Brad. The second half of the show is definitely going to be some vitriol. I don't know. You play as a spark. You know, you're as a spark, and in the beginning of the game, you're essentially probably something else, because they show a TV screen and there's like a figure in there, and they don't do a good job of explaining that you need to move and hold the button down.
There's like zero explanation.
Yeah, it just says press X, but then you do and nothing happens. So you have to actually hold X, is what they meant, and then you get out of the screen and become a electrical current essentially, and you start going through wires, and that's the game. Now, I definitely did not finish it, so maybe later on you'll inhabit something, which is what I'm hoping. But for now, as far as I was just the electrical impulse, and that got boring very fast. Like, I mean, I was like, going like, oh yeah, now I'm going to jump into the robot, and then my game is going to be I'm the robot or something, because there's a robot on the cover of this game, or it's like for the art of this game.
Yeah.
But I was still just the electricity for a very long time, being puzzly and doing puzzles. And one of the puzzles I was like, nope, I don't. Do I need to go to the internet already? And then I figured it out. But yeah, I'm not a puzzle fan. I'm not really a fan of many puzzle games, as most people know on the show. And this didn't really do anything to change my mind. It was interesting in the fact that where am I? What am I? Am I a spirit of some person inside a cord? That's kind of neat. And the backgrounds, when they saw people in the background, that was kind of cool. Like, ooh, we're being sneaky. We're electrical current. We're going through these wires and they don't see us. But why are we doing that? And also, it's just a puzzle forever. Now, did you play further than I did? Do you get into a robot?
Well, so here's the thing, dude. I think we have about a similar experience because, I mean, I was kind of into the tone of it. Like, it's kind of set in like a, I don't know, like weird futuristic Eastern Europe. I mean, it's like really dark and it seems oppressive. And, you know, there's all sorts of, you don't know the language, so you don't know what they're saying. And there's all sorts of posters in a language that you don't understand. Maybe other people understand it. I don't know if it's real language or not. I don't think it is. But, you know, so you're just this spark and you're going through wires and you're tripping fuse boxes and stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is fine. It sounds weird, but your spark moved really slowly, and I found that to be very irritating because I wanted to move faster. And
you can push box to move faster.
Even with that, I was like, I want to move faster than this. But I got to a puzzle where I got stuck. I got super stuck. I couldn't figure it out, and it was like 20 minutes after starting the game. Like, it was real early in the game. There's like a TV screen, and it has like red and blue or orange and blue shapes on it. And it just like changes every couple seconds. Did you see that puzzle?
No, I got stuck at some puzzle before that.
Okay, so I got maybe like one puzzle further than you did.
Yeah.
And I got stuck there, and I couldn't figure it out. It's like sometimes I could get halfway through the puzzle because little blue lights would turn on when you started doing the correct thing. You need to get 4 blue lights on. I could get 1 blue light, 2 blue lights, and then 0. 1, 2, 0. 1, 2, 0. 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, oh, 0. I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. I had no idea. I got really stuck. I put a picture on the Twitters, and I'm like, hey, anybody playing this game, I need help. Please, anybody can help me. Nobody could figure it out, and multiple people said I quit the game at that puzzle.
Oh, so no. And that's coming up for me, too.
It's like 15, 20 minutes of the game. I had multiple people say I quit the game at that puzzle because I couldn't figure it out. I got frustrated. I was also really frustrated, but because I am the editor of a game's website, I emailed the actual developer, and I'm like, hey, what is up with your game, dude? And so he's like, oh, you got to just tap it on the sound. And I'm like, okay, so number one, I was playing without sound on. So it's a puzzle that only has audio cues, which I find to be very problematic because I very often play games without sound on because my wife is a really light sleeper. And sometimes I'm playing like in the bedroom. I don't want to wake her up. Sometimes I'm playing games at work. And so like, you know, I have some downtime. I don't want to have any sound on because I got to listen for things at work. But it's like, you know, there are many, 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 many ways to make a puzzle that has a visual cue along with an audio cue. So that really kind of pissed me off. I'm like, audio-only puzzles are bullshit. So he told me what to do. And then once I figured out how to do it, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, literally, it was just like tap the button when the sound goes off. But there's no real logic to it. Like, I don't know why you would even figure that out. A ton of people got stuck there, quit. And I even told Dan Weissenberger, who's a writer at the site, he got stuck there too. And Dan is way more of a puzzle guy than I am. And he got stuck, and I said, oh, Dan, it's just the sound cue. You got to push the button on sound cue. He couldn't even do it after I told him what the answer was. He's like, I don't understand. Fuck this game. I'm out. So that's as far as I got past that puzzle because the developer told me. I got to the very next puzzle, and it was like really fucking irritating, and I noped out. I'm like, I'm done. So people tell me you do become a robot, you become like an airplane or a spaceship or something. Like you do eventually go through different forms and have different kinds of challenges. But I was like so irritated by the first 20 minutes, I didn't want to keep going. Right,
and I wonder if when you're in a robot, are you just still doing that same type of thing? I'm guessing you are, because I bet you he only built one mechanic. And then I can't speculate on that.
Yeah, who knows?
I'll YouTube it and see if I can see what happens afterwards, because I don't think I'm going to continue. But yeah, it was a little frustrating because, like you said, I did like the atmosphere.
Yeah, it seemed like something that would be up my alley, but man, that was just like way to get off on the wrong foot. And I mean, this kind of led into like a really long discussion I had with my friend Defunct Games on Twitter. He loves this game. He actually finished it, and it's like one of his favorite games. He feels like it's going to be on his top 10 of the year for sure. And so we had this like really lengthy discussion about the quality of puzzle design. I mean, and he felt like the puzzles were all really good, and I'm like, well, I hate this one puzzle, and it's like if I couldn't hear this puzzle, which I couldn't pass it. And I feel like that kind of design should be more open to other people. Like you should be, as a developer, having more options for people to approach your puzzles. Like I get there's maybe one answer, but for people who have disabilities or for people who maybe their brain doesn't work the same way that your brain works, there should be like clues or maybe some kind of other way to figure the puzzle out. Because I was dead fucking stuck, dude. If he hadn't emailed me back, I never would have got past it.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, Seventh Sector seemed like a good thing. Not for me, not for you. Maybe it's for somebody, but I suspect this is probably the last time we're ever going to talk about it. Let's turn it back over to you, Carlos. You've got a couple things to touch on. Super Tennis. What's up with Super Tennis? And what system is this on?
This is on the Switch, so I was excited to pick it up. I had mentioned it as a game I was looking forward to on an episode before at some point. And Super Tennis is on the Switch. I think it was $5, I want to say. Things on the Switch are like $4 or $4.50 or 12 cents. It doesn't make any sense. $1.83. This was about $5, and I am a sucker for tennis games. I love tennis games.
Really? I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. I guess maybe this is a new thing. We haven't talked about it.
Seeing a new side of you here.
I actually did testing on 2K, their Top Spin games.
Okay.
I was a tester, and if you look up in like the back of the book, the little manual, you'll see my name in Top Spin. I think Top Spin 2. Anywho, I love tennis games. I want to do a tangent here in a minute, and I'll tell you the tangent afterwards. But this game, I thought, was going to be more like the Super Nintendo tennis games of old. Really simple pixel graphics, top-down view-ish, three-quarters of view, and it's just simple and tight controls, and you go through tournaments, and that's it, right? And or that my favorite game, World Court Tennis, on the TurboGrafx, which I'll talk about as well. I thought it was like that, like tight controls, simple graphics, really fun. It is not that. I'm angry at the developer because it's false advertising, and maybe we can look up on the internet, and maybe there was some sort of thing in the description that said what type of game this is, but I didn't see it. So buyer beware. This is not like those tennis games I just mentioned. This is a tennis game that sees you only scoring one real point on a volley, and you do it by pushing button combinations.
Like a fighting game?
Yeah, like as the ball comes to you from the opponent, it's slow motions, so there's slow motion all of a sudden, and it puts up on the screen buttons you have to hit.
Okay, like a quick time event.
Yeah, but not okay. Doesn't that sound fucking nuts to you?
That sounds actually kind of cool.
What? Brad, you are the reason why we don't have nice things.
I am the reason for the season. I don't like tennis games in general, so weird ones like that sounds kind of neat. Like okay. I'm gonna look this up real quick. You keep talking.
You can look it up and see if it says it or in the description, and see if I just missed it. But anyways, it doesn't matter even if you like the mechanic, because like on the Switch, there's so many buttons: L, ZL, ZR, A, B, C, X, Y, which I always fuck up the X and Y. Directional buttons. They pick every one on the fucking controller to use. And you're like, no. And then when it's a hard boss or something, it's like 4 button impresses in a row.
Wait a minute, there's bosses in this game?
Well, no, you know what I mean, like the guy who you got to beat for the tournament. So essentially, when you start a tournament, you start at, like 5 up from the top or something, and you win matches by winning each volley. So all you gotta do is win one fucking volley. That's it, right? 1 point. And the point means you win the match, which also doesn't make any sense. It's not fucking tennis. And then after you beat that person, you go to the next person until you get to the top of this tournament, which is usually only like 4 or 5 people. Okay. Also not like tennis. And then you beat them and you win, and you get to unlock a new character, which doesn't really do anything because there's no special moves. It's just fucking hitting buttons, and I hate this game. I fucking hate this game.
This is crazy because I'm like,
You're like, this game. Now I want this game.
And now I'm like, oh, this sounds like a pretty good game. I want to check this out. want to check this out.
Here's why I hate this game. So Super Nintendo and TurboGrafx had the best tennis games, even that rival Top Spin and all these newer games, because they were simple graphics, but they had the tightest controls, right? I've said this before in many other video shows, but World Court Tennis and its whole family tennis line, because it was for Super Nintendo later on. World Court Tennis was a version of Family Tennis for Nintendo back to TurboGrafx. They had such simple graphics, but like the lob, the volley, the drop, the strike, everything that you do and the way you hit the ball was precision. You could put it like right in the corner or pull it back all the way and drop it right over the net. It just felt like you had such control over the little characters, and it was so fun that way. So fuck this game. I don't normally say that, but you can go get it. And I don't think you will. At some point, you'll be like, well, this novelty's wearing off because I can't use all of my both hands to hit all the buttons.
I mean, I may fuck the buttons up because I don't remember which one is A, B, X, Y on the Switch. That's
I always fuck
confusing
it up.
to me.
Yes,
or like,
I know.
yeah, that's terrible. But I mean, honestly, as someone who doesn't really like sports games and doesn't really have any feelings either way about tennis games, I'm like, oh, this one sounds kind of neat and weird. Maybe I will check this out. Like,
Which is why, though, I'm so angry because I really wanted on the Switch a game like that. And now there may be, if there is, someone can tell me who's listening, or I guess I could Google afterwards. But like, I want still a really tight tennis game on my Switch. It seems a perfect fit for that. So, anyways, that's my frustration with it. And I will say this: use this time real quick. World Court Tennis is one of the only tennis games, if not the only, that had an RPG in it. Are you familiar with this?
No, I don't know if I've ever played it.
It has a quest mode. And you would go to like different towns and like beat people there and like get money to buy new rackets and stuff.
Okay.
And then you'd have to go challenge the king of tennis or some shit.
That sounds a lot like Golf Story, but just with tennis.
Right. But this is also like 1990 whatever.
Okay.
Like a million years ago. And I was
Sure.
like, how weird to have a tennis RPG. So World Court Tennis, one of my favorite games of all time. People who know me know that. This game is not that. And this game made me angry. And I don't like this game.
Fair enough. Okay, so I may go check this out. Maybe,
Damn it.
Maybe not. Thank you for reverse selling me on this, Carlos. You just added one more game to my list.
So I just have to say things that I hate, and you're going to be like, you know what, I will check it out. And then I'll say things I like, and you'll be like, you know what, I'm out.
But maybe that's what makes our show so great. We get so many different aspects of gaming covered. Different tastes. Horses for courses, right?
Different strokes for
yeah,
different
strokes.
folks.
Exactly. So you've got one more game in this particular section to talk about. Vermintide, like Warhammer.
Neverwinter, Vermintide 2.
It's Neverwinter?
Yeah.
That's not right.
Isn't it?
No, that's not right. Because isn't Neverwinter a different series?
No. Hold on. Now I'm
Maybe. I mean, you could be right. Maybe. All right. Hold on, folks. We're gonna do like quick Google verification here.
Oh.
Isn't it Warhammer Vermintide? I could be wrong.
No, it's something weird. Oh, it's Warhammer. You're right. It's Vermintide. Warhammer Vermintide 2.
Okay.
I said Neverwinter. I haven't taken my medicine this morning, which is coffee, and now I'm drinking it.
Coffee meds. Okay, so Vermintide 2. I have not played Vermintide 2, but I do remember the first Vermintide being kind of a co-op Left 4 Dead first-person shooter, but instead of zombies, it was like the rat people from Warhammer. Is that basically the same thing here?
And it's the same game. You just described the game. We're done. No, here's the thing. I didn't know it was a Left 4 Dead type. I thought it was more like a little bit RPG light.
Okay.
And yeah, there are things you can get and like better weapons you can find and essentially loot boxes, but there's nothing monetized. It's just like you find chests and then can open them and get slightly better weapons.
Okay.
So the inspiration to like find chests and get slightly better weapons isn't really much of a draw. It's more about just going through hordes of enemies and surviving, right? And because I thought, again, it's all expectation, it was lightly like an RPG, which it really isn't. It's an action game like Left 4 Dead, right?
Yeah.
And also, you can't play one player. You have to play with 4 bots or 3 bots.
Oh, so if it's just you, like you're with a group regardless all the time, right?
Yeah, and I generally don't like those types of games because, I mean, I get why they built the system to be a multiplayer experience, and in that, lots of enemies might like freeze you, and then you have to have your teammates help you out of it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or reviving, right? So you're downed, like a multiplayer online game, and they have to like revive you. So that threw me out of the game. The non-RPG-ness of it threw me out. The graphics were pretty cool. I did like running through and being melee guy and like destroying a bunch of stuff with melee, but it just felt like I was wiping through tons of monsters that didn't mean anything. They were just,
Yeah.
blood bags or whatever. And so that got old very quick. Like it didn't keep my attention at all. And I thought someone I respect was like, this is one of his favorite games of the year. And I was like, wow, really? Out of nowhere, that game? And that's why I checked it out. And I don't know if I'm going to go back to it. I got the Brad anger.
Well, I know. When I played it, I was into it for like maybe a couple levels, and I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm just like you said, I'm just killing a jillion dudes, and I'm getting slightly better weapons, and I'm just kind of repeating that. And I think combat is okay, but like I'm not a player who just like really gets off on just like killing 1,000 enemies like that. In and of itself is not really something that I find very interesting as a gameplay mechanic.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I noped out of it pretty quick. And I'm not the multiplayer guy either. Like, I'm not going to have 3 friends on a Friday night get together and play this. It's like usually me, maybe my wife will play a game if she thinks it looks interesting, and we'll like two player. But like, that's it. Like, we're not going to do like a group or anything like that. And so I got kind of bored of it pretty quick. And I was surprised to see so many people really choose this as something that they really liked a lot. So, I mean, I guess there's a certain kind of player that this is a great fit for. I'm not that player, and it sounds like you're not that player either.
I'm not that player either. Yeah, so unfortunately. 2 games I did not like this week. There they are. Super Tennis and Vermintide 2.
Well, let's keep it going. Let's keep that hate train going because we got a couple more games to talk about. Journey to the Savage Planet came out from 505 Studios as the publisher. I do not know who the developer is. I apologize, folks. We do no research on this podcast, as we are so fond of saying. This is a first-person... Honestly, it's a bit like a Metroidvania because you're searching a quote-unquote uninhabited planet for resources that you can exploit for your terrible corporation who is your boss. They sent you this planet to, like, basically rape the planet for whatever resources it has. But it's kind of like one of those sassy, sarcastic, we know corporations are terrible, and so we make lots of jokes about how terrible it is. And you're shooting all the monsters and collecting their resources, and you're going through these worlds. It's like a very simple, straightforward kind of a game, which in general I kind of like. I mean, I like that it was very straightforward, where you're just shooting stuff, getting resources, getting a couple upgrades, and then going back into the world and kind of doing it again. It was feeling pretty good for the first maybe like hour, 2 hours, but then after a while I just kind of got tired of it because I could see how much grinding was ahead of me. And then it was really kind of a turnoff because it was like, oh, I got to do these things, and I got to get like 900 of this resource, and I got to get 600 of this resource, and that'll get the triple jump. And then that means that I can get to this other place where I'm going to grind some more things. I mean, it's similar to like a really stripped down like Metroid Prime, if you really want to like very basically kind of compare those two things.
Metroid Prime, and I would say No Man's Sky. Right?
Yeah,
it's got that feel like you're going to this weird place. You don't know what it's about.
Yeah.
You're literally scanning everything.
Yeah, lots of scanning.
So a lot of scanning and a lot, like you said, shooting. And as it goes further on, it's actually relies mainly on the shooting, which is kind of a downfall of it, I think.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of combat, and I feel like the combat is just like okay. It's not really interesting enough, and I think it's the thing that happened that really turned me off was like a lot of the areas that you're exploring end up looking very much alike. And so you would go to this one part of the land, and it's like, oh, this has this certain enemy that I need to find, but then I couldn't remember, well, was it this part or this part? Because they all look vaguely the same. They're all kind of orangey and greenish, and they've all got the same kind of trees, and there's not really a lot of like defining geographical features that you can remember. And I just like kind of got lost after a while. I'm like, this all looks the same to me, and I don't know where I'm going. There are some map markers which help you out, but like when you're doing some of the other objectives, some of the freeform objectives, it's like you got to just figure out where to go or remember where these things are. And I kind of just got lost. And after a while, I'm like, I'm not into trying to remember which part of this cookie cutter map I need to go to. So yeah. I kind of got tired of it, and combat's not great. I just like the grinding. I mean, it's fine. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. If you've never played a Metroidvania, if you've never played Metroid Prime, if you've never played any of these games, I mean, there's actually, I think, probably several games that have this kind of sarcastic corporate angle to them. Like, this is totally not the first. I mean, what's the outer
Outer Worlds. I mean, there's definitely like feelings of that. Outer Worlds is like these corporations own the galaxy, they own different parts of the planets, and you like in that game you actually had much more of a decision making process, right? So it's like, how can I change this landscape that this world is in, or do I just go fight the corporation? Here it's like you're just a pawn in being sent off to a different planet and see what you can find for the corporation. Which, by the way, let's give them a feather in their cap. I think those videos are really funny. They do these kind of like promotional videos and you basically see them every time you go back to your ship, so you see new ones. And some are really, really good. And they kind of color the idea of this, kind of almost not great corporation. Like, it's not even like the best corporation in the world. It's like, what they say, the fourth
we
most
are the fourth
successful?
best, most successful corporation in the galaxy or something.
So I like that. It's got a little bit of, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy feel. And I wanted more tongue-in-cheek, actually, because if they do that back at the ship, I thought that might be out in the planet somewhere. But like you said, it just devolves into was I here before? Do I have to shoot that thing? Oh, no, puzzles. Those are Carlos's favorite. Let's put a bunch more of those in front of him. And then it literally block off areas unless you do certain puzzles, which is not my favorite thing. It's not exploratory. This is not open world. This is definitely like, feed a little bird to this one machine that eats it, and then you can get past that area. And if you don't do it right, you're not moving. By the way, did you ever figure out what those secret areas were? Because I couldn't.
Yeah, there was a bunch. I mean, there was one that you needed a bomb to explode. There was one where you had to shoot the tentacles of a plant to make it explode. There was
no, not that.
Which
there
one?
would be like a sound cue that would go off.
Yeah, it is those. Like, a sound would be like, the secret nearby, and then there was like 4 or 5 different flavors of that I found.
Oh,
one of them,
okay.
Yeah, it just kind of depended which area you were in. There was different solutions for each one, but yeah, it just felt like I was doing the same thing, and I was only to like the second biome, and I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm doing literally the exact same thing that I did in the first biome, and it's not really changing, and I don't want to do this for like 3 more biomes, so
yeah.
It's
so funny because it wasn't like one of my most anticipated games, for this year. I could just, like, based on the trailer and the kind of funny videos, I was like, wow, this is a world I can just jump into. By the way, it was called Typhoon Studios who put it out, and one of the people on that team worked on Far Cry 4. So you can see kind of some Far Cry elements near the ending, I think, because as I got further on, it's just shooting monsters, not taking over outposts, but essentially getting to new areas and opening new areas. So, yeah, I don't know. I definitely got bored, too. The hate train is still rolling. We're still driving on this train.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a bad week, I guess. So that's Journey to the Savage Planet. We've only got one more game to talk about, basically. Bard's Tale 4. I don't know anything about this. You're playing it on a PC, I assume?
No, it's
PS4?
PS4, yeah.
Okay,
yep.
I didn't know if it came to PS4 or not. I know it started on PC, but PS4. I've heard of Bard's Tale. I think I played a version that was on PS2 like a million years ago. I don't know how faithful that is to the franchise, or if this is an offshoot, is this a sequel in the same world. I don't know anything about it. But Bard's Tale 4, tell us everything about it, because I know nothing.
Well, you probably played the one that this developer worked on, because they made a console version. They're called In Exile.
Yeah.
And so they made a console version, so that's probably the one you played. I've been playing this game because I'm 150 years old. I've been playing Bard's Tale since I was a kid. Bard's Tale is a huge PC game. It used to come on those big, like, folded, like, album covers. And kids are like, what are you talking about? Google Bard's Tale PC and you'll see what I'm talking about. But there were these really big boxes, and it was an experience, just like Ultima. These were like old school RPGs. Essentially, there was a lot of bards in them, obviously, in the fact that you do music, and there was like a lot of different classes. And most of the time, it was a party, turn-based, front-facing view. I don't know what you want to call that when it comes to
like a first-person kind of a Dragon Quest sort of a battle system.
But your party's kind of on the bottom there, along the bottom.
Yeah, like Phantasy Star for like people like way back in the day.
Yes.
Or anything where like you don't see your own party, you just see the enemy party on the screen and you swipe at them and stuff, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. So like obviously, yeah, Dragon Quest, but then also in those ones you don't even see the people, right? And this one you see kind of your actual character on the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
So it also uses the old school, not just turn-based, but also the kind of a light grid. So there's definitely places you want to move. So if you move to the back row, you can have your magic users back there, you're healing back there, and maybe they won't get attacked. Or if you're trying to attack somebody, you have to make sure that you're in an adjacent kind of area as them, and if you aren't, then you can't even hit them. So you kind of use your moving around the slight field of boxes to your advantage as well. It's just super old school. It's like a 50 or 60 hour campaign. I went back to it because I remember loving the old school games, and I just wanted one big meaty RPG to just jump into. And yeah, the combat's okay. It's not like great, right? But there's definitely the best part of it is that you walk around the land in true first-person Skyrim mode.
Okay.
Right? So you bring your whole party with you as a first-person point of view. And that's how you're walking around the world.
Is it an open world? I mean, are we talking about like... Because you described the combat, and I've seen screenshots of the grid-based. I mean, that seems to me like kind of like a very... square-based kind of hallway dungeon sort of a thing, but like, is there like an overworld where you're just kind of just generally freeform walking around?
Yeah, that's the one that's in first person, right?
Okay.
So think of like getting dropped into a Skyrim, but without the full open world, just kind of like linear paths in a way. Like you could go left and see what's down there, and you could go right to see what's down there, but you should probably just go straight. That kind of a open world. Okay. So you're playing first person like that until you get to a combat encounter. Then you're turning into this grid-based thing, front facing. So that being said, all those things put together, I'd still be in, right? Like give me that old school turn-based PC type experience on my PS4. I'm in. I'm all in. Also, these are the guys who worked on Wasteland, which I love Wasteland too. So, it's a great developer. You're in capable hands. It seems like a really interesting game.
I feel like we're heading to a cliff here.
The cliff is a good cliff, not a bad cliff.
Okay.
The hate train is stopping. So, in this game, and this is something I want to kind of like tangent on for a minute. You play as adventurers in role-playing games. Adventurers are lots of times dwarfs, elves, all sorts of races. So back to our coffee talk discussion. So there's all sorts of races that are warriors and magicians, etc. And in this game, you start off, and the priesthood or the fatherhood or the father tide, I forget what they're called. They basically have decided to kill everybody who's different.
Oh, geez. That's trouble.
No. Look, can you see the parallels that I'm going to bring out right now?
I do. I hear you.
So literally, in some of the books that I've read and the people that I talked to, they said that they kicked out people that were not like them out of the cities. They hanged people who were not like them. And they basically created a climate of fear so that everybody would suspect their friends just to escape Inquisition. And they built a system of intolerance, hate, and the clash of the old with the new. Are you kidding me?
I mean,
this is our life.
It's hitting a little close to home for me right now.
I know. So this is why video games are great, though, too. Now, definitely go out there and vote, people, in whatever country you're in, especially in the U.S. right now. But on top of that, if you do want to feel a little bit of justice, if you want to feel a little bit of like you're making a difference, and you want to escape some of the madness that is happening around you, this is a perfect type of thing where I go in, and as soon as we're done with this podcast, I'm going to go, like, enact justice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm like, these people are doing the wrong thing. They're, like, literally
It's like killing Nazis in Wolfenstein or something. Like, you can't...
Right.
You can't, we don't have any direct means of righting wrongs in today's climate, but, in a video game virtual sense, you can feel like you're maybe doing a little bit of justice by Nazis or these whatever they call them in your world, like these super racist people wiping out the other races.
Yeah, it was just so crazy that I didn't expect that. Right, I just expected an old school RPG with like funniness in it because it's got some comedy. But yeah, I'm like all the way in now. Like instead of it being a cliff of bad, it's a cliff of like I must do the right thing and save all the elves and everybody. I mean, they were hanging them in the city square. Like I don't want to get too real about it, but how quickly can humans do that? How quickly can they devolve into ridiculous divisiveness that turns into...
Yeah, we're a half step away from doing that in real life right now, dude.
So this is why Bard's Tale 4, the director's cut, is really important. Play it, and you can feel like you have some justice. Oh, one more tangent, though.
Yeah.
I don't like when games make you have to spend a skill point to wear armor. Oh... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not good.
And it's like multiple kinds of armor. So literally, I just got my first skill point in light leather armor. Oh, now I spend a skill point so I can wear light leather armor. Guess what? I have to spend another skill point for medium leather armor. Fuck that part of the game. So there's my hate.
If somebody gives me a sweater for Christmas, I just put it on.
You don't no skill involved.
I don't need to go to the gym and work out before I put the sweater on. I don't need to like study a book. I'm just like, I just put it on.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
You got to keep it real, people making RPGs. Keep it real.
I'm still going to play the shit out of this RPG. I'm going to enact my justice, but I'm also going to be mad and grumble under my breath every time I take another skill point to wear another piece of armor.
Fair.
So stupid.
Fair. All right, so those are all the games officially that we're talking about, but we have one more little tidbit. Now, traditionally, we Carlos has some kind of little bit at the end. We haven't really landed on a very regular segment like we have his beginning segment, but we're going to try something new today. Today is Carlos's Eye on Gamefield.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's like Eye on Springfield.
There you go.
For you Simpsons nerds. So these are just games that come across my desk or my computer screen throughout the week. And just a few games that I'm like, whoa, what is this about? I think I should tell the people. So, Ion Gamefield.
So let's tell them, yes. News flash.
Elderborn. What?
It doesn't make sense that we make that sound anymore because nobody does the little news beeping thing. Like, it's only used as a meme. Like, it's not even a real thing anymore. I don't think people even know what it's from.
No, I don't. But you know what? Ion Gamefield. Elderborn is exactly what Vermintide 2 is not. Did I say that right?
Maybe.
Today my language is off. I'm going to apologize, by the way, at the end of this podcast, for this whole podcast, for my performance at least. It's been quite off. Yeah, to be transparent, I've had all these technical difficulties with my mixer, and I'm going to smash it as soon as we're done with this podcast. So that you might have not known that, but I'm just being transparent with you.
You should put that on YouTube when you smash it.
Okay.
Elderborn for the listeners.
Actually, that's pretty good bonus content, and I think I might do it. Elderborn is a melee action game. I'm not going to think it's an RPG because it's not, but it's all about getting that melee, the satisfying melee done right, and not hordes of enemies, but one by one. Kind of in a Doom sense, or in a game where they're coming at you still, but you're like dispatching them one at a time, right? It's not like continual bam, bam.
Like more meaningful encounters where it's not just like you're not mowing down. Like, like when I think of like combat that doesn't mean anything to me, I think of like Dynasty Warriors where you're killing like 32,000 people in a match and it doesn't mean anything because you're smashing the A button.
Yeah.
As opposed to something like, like a Dark Souls or something where it's like you're fighting one guy and you're watching his moves and you're blocking his moves and you're very carefully dodging, and it's like a very different scale of combat. Not necessarily that either one is right or correct. I mean, there's different flavors for everybody, but for me, I much prefer the conscientious, very slow, methodical, as opposed to the Dynasty Warrior style. And that sounds like what you're describing here.
Totally. And I mean, it just looks wildly good. So I'm going to pick that up. I think it's already out, and I think it's only like $12 or $15 on Steam, which is crazy.
Okay.
I think it might be more like a proof of concept for their combat, right? Like the developer's like, hey, look at this amazing thing we made, and we're going to make a big game with it at some point. So if you want a cheap, really good melee experience that's not Vermintide 2, I'm going to go pick it up, and yeah, I suggest you check it out if you like melee. Second one is...
It's funny that you said it that way, because what you made me think of is if you want something that's not Vermintide 2, there's a lot of things out there that are not Vermintide 2.
Right,
so you've got lots of options.
I'm just saying, within this particular podcast, I was excited about melee. That's not what I want. What I do want is this.
I'm just goofing. That just made me laugh. It made me giggle inside my head when you said that.
Giggle. Get your giggle out of here. Not for broadcast. Not for broadcast has an overwhelmingly positive feedback on Steam, which is hard to do. And you take control of the nightly news. There's
that goddamn news thing again.
On Gamesfields, as a radical government comes to power. Look at all the connections we're making. Bard's Tale, The Real World, not for broadcast.
People say games aren't political, but I call bullshit on that.
Oh, this is straight up political.
Yeah, I think every game is political, honestly.
It says basically it's a propaganda sim where you control what the people see and determine what's not for broadcast. And it looks like a lot of live action video, which is always hilarious to me because it could be done really funny or whatever. Anyways, it's an early access game. Generally, I don't really even see that term anymore. If it's available to add to cart, I play it because unless it's like a really big one-player game, I'm sure I'll get the experience that they're trying to give me.
Sure.
It's $13.49. I'm buying it as soon as we get off this podcast. I would have people check that out. And my last eye on Games Field is that the Amico is coming out. And do you know about the Amico?
No. Are you saying AMICO? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
Hold on. Let me make sure. I always forget how he says it.
I'm going to look it up because I have no idea what you're talking about at all. Amico.
I just want to make sure I'm saying it right.
They make medical equipment? I don't think that's what you're talking about.
No. It's the Intellivision. The new Intellivision.
Oh, okay. So let's see.
Remember Tallarico? You guys know
Tommy Tallarico?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
he made music for games?
Yes. So I met him a while ago, and he talked about this with me. It's the new Intellivision. It's two little handheld things, like the old school Intellivision, but it's got touchscreens on them. They're more updated. Anyways, the new trailer just came out, is why I bring it up on my Eye on Games Field.
So this is the new system we're talking about. This is a new platform. This is a new...
Totally new platform.
Totally new platform for games. I'm looking at a picture on Google. Like you said, it looks like two little iPods or something like that you hold.
Yeah.
You give one each person, and then you do something...
We can bring it up on another podcast. I actually have a lot of it because I interviewed him for it and stuff. So I'm just telling people why to go check out the trailer because they finally dropped like what the games look like. And that had not happened until just now. So if you want to check out the Amico, which I think I'm saying it right, Google it, 2 eyes, AMIICO, and check out the trailer because I think it might have a market. Kind of like the Wii did in the fact that it was like its own thing. And it's very interesting. And also, check this out. One of my favorite games of all time, Archon, is coming out on it.
Archon is a great game. I had a lot of fun with Archon. I'm looking at the trailer. It looks like there's Moon Patrol. It looks like there's some kind of track and field. Looks like there's asteroids.
They're remaking Atari and television games and also these other like Midway classic games. And then there will be new games for it. And they're all going to be cheap. And they're all for all ages. So it's such a cool idea. Just check it out. I think I'm a yes and person, and I'm gonna I'll buy it. But yeah.
Yes and indeed. Okay, so there's the Amico. That's something we're looking forward to. All right, cool. There we go. And there's that meme again that no one knows what it is, but we still do it anyway because that's the way we've always done it. And that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you all very much for listening. Carlos and I will be back next week with another episode. In the meantime, as always, we love your questions and comments. You can reach us, sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. You can also post comments for us at gamecritics.com once the show goes up there. We're also on Twitter as a show collectively, @SoVideoGames. But you can reach us individually. Carlos, where are you at this week?
Just Twitter, ONAWA.
All right, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. It's my name, BRADGALLAWAY. And that's basically it for us. Thank you again for joining us here at So Video Games. And we will be back next week. But in the meantime, this is bye from Brad.
And hey, don't be divisive. We're all the same thing, a human being. Just stop it.